Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gamehound's Happy Endings, episode 36. It's January 8th, 2014. I'm Edie Sellers, and with me, we've got Holy Golly on the other side.
Hey.
And Nick is late.
Yeah.
As usual.
Bad boy.
He is dirty, dirty boy. We're going to have to punish him. So, yeah, we just finished up. I just had my my BLT. Mm-hmm.
I just had a ham sandwich with bologna.
Ham sandwich with bologna?
Yeah. Well, ham and bologna with cheese, yeah.
Oh, God.
And I put some pepperoni on it, too.
Oh, you treat your body like it's a garbage disposal. Ugh.
Hello, bacon. Hello. Hello, bacon.
But it's like 3 slices of bacon and a bunch of vegetables.
Oh, well, whatever. I had a salad this morning, so I could do that.
Okay.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so we were had been talking about PlayStation Now, the upcoming and recently announced rental service that PlayStation 4 is going to have for its back catalog of initially the PS3 games, and then I guess it'll also be eventually PS1, PS2, and then PS4 games.
Yeah. I tell you, I didn't talk about it on the main show, but I'll say a little bit now. I'm really happy I took the plunge with PS4. And I know that I've been talking it up and I've been bashing the Xbox One. I'm not going to do that anymore. But I will say that I'm not a PS guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have 2. I didn't have 3. I had PS1. Okay? Still can't figure out how to hook that up to the internet. But that leave that for another day. But so this is new. I'm an Xbox guy. I'm a 10-year Xbox guy, and I made the switch, and I'm liking the PS4. I'm still getting used to it, So I think part of it is now that I'm used to how it works a little bit better, and I'm more familiar with it, that it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
I like what it does. It's simple. It just plays games. That's all it does. And streams movies if you want. But how you can stream the Twitch, and how especially how we were on the same PlayStation the other night and we easily switch between accounts and play the same games. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because we were playing Knack, and she's playing Knack, and she went to bed, and it's like, well, I don't have Knack on mine, but I could sign out of hers and sign in and play Knack on her system. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And so I've actually loaded a bunch of my games on her PlayStation, so if we happen to be upstairs and we're chatting and I want to play, I could actually play, and now we're in the same room. Instead of me going downstairs and the solid and playing on my PlayStation, I could actually play upstairs now. And that's really cool. And, what we did a lot of, too, is over the holidays, is she'd just be sitting on the couch, mellowing out and doing Facebook, and I'd be on her PlayStation under my account playing and chatting with people, and it was fun, It really was fun. So I'm liking this PlayStation. Now, the PlayStation Now, it might give me the chance to play some PlayStation 3 games as well as other games. So yeah, I'm pretty excited where the PS4 is going. I'm not trying to slight Xbox One. That's probably going to do some nice things too. Okay, so I'm not trying to dump on anything here, but I'm just saying that taking the plunge into PlayStation 4, so far, 2 months into it, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I am too, and. The only thing that there's a few things I'm missing. In fact, it was something that I thought about last night when I was playing with Nick, is the things I miss about the 360. And there are quite a few that I miss.
Yes, absolutely. The 360 was solid, and we were used to it, and we loved it.
I prefer the 360 methods of getting into party chat, the ease of being able to invite someone to your party. The ease of being able to, just using that center button, you could see who was in your party and invite someone, using the center button to invite someone to your game, because I have found on the PlayStation 4, it's not uniform of how you can invite someone to join your game or how you can join someone else's game.
Yeah, there's
few extra steps. Yeah, like you said, few extra steps to get through and it's not self-evident of how to do it. It's not like, oh, bam, you're in. That's
the game too, because I know with Resogun, me and Barbara, who's in the chat room here, play a lot of Resogun together. So if we both start up Resogun and one of us sends an invite, it comes in right through the game, and that's fairly simple. Battlefield, sometimes it'll let you join from a friend's, if you go to the friends list and they're playing, it might say join.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to join like that. Warframe's a different animal. So
Warframe is not easy, not self-evident to invite someone to your... And then when you do, sometimes you can't. Like, I can't join Nick's games. Nick can't join my game. But if Chaos is on and we have Chaos, then Chaos can invite both of us and we can get into his game, which has to do with this NAT security. And it's just... I really, really don't know why... And actually, Microsoft has the same issue with some of its games on the 360. Why they insist on having your security so open, and sending your NAT to 0 so that you can play with people. But of course, it leaves you wide open security-wise to somebody accessing your network. It's just a really bad idea, and I don't know why I have to give up security in order to play a game. And the other thing that I had last week is I could not access. I didn't realize it. I thought it was a server issue on PlayStation side. But I couldn't access the PlayStation Store.
Really?
Yeah. And for some reason, I have it wired into the internet, hardwired with the Ethernet, but it had switched itself to being a wireless connection, which shouldn't have been a problem, except... I guess there's 3 different settings, 3 different kinds of wireless that you can have. It's like S, N, and B.
Yeah.
And B is A, the slowest, and B, the most insecure method of having access to it. And I was reading on some forums that if you don't have your B activated, if you deactivate it to increase your performance and increase your security, then you can't access the store. You can access games. And you can access your, you can like make a party and stuff. But when you go to the store says can't connect. But I don't understand why, if someone wants to use a wireless connection, that you would have to have the B turned on. Because you're essentially saying, oh yeah, no, I want to buy some games. I want to have full access to my PlayStation. But you're going to have to use a method of wireless connection that is the most insecure and not advised and slowest, worst performing one. So it would slow down your system. It's like in order to play their games, they want you. Yeah. And once I went into Hardwire, once I went and checked my connections and said to it, went through the connection doctor and said, I have a wired system, then it turned back on. So apparently somewhere along the way, it got itself switched off. So it was a wireless connection, and it was balking because we don't have the B method, the B system turned on. And I'm a little frustrated in general with both systems, with both Microsoft and Sony, that they insist that in order to have full access of your gaming console, you have to drop almost all of your internal security. That's offensive, really.
Yeah, well, we had that problem with Diablo. We went with the 360 this week.
Yeah,
we
Diablo.
Played Diablo, the 3 of us, and we had to kind of do a little dance to get into each other's games, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and that's the same thing.
Hey, couldn't come in.
What?
The Shadow guy.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
But it seems like he's always had issues. Shadow guy. I don't know what his settings are or what his NAT settings.
Maybe that's because he has some security.
But exactly, he's not insecure. And you have to be just essentially opening up the gates and saying, let everybody in order to let Sony in or PlayStation in.
Because you were hosting it,
Xbox.
right, Edie? And when you left so that you were no longer hosting it,
right,
he could join.
And then I could join you. But if it was him trying to join my game or me trying to join his game, it wouldn't work. But if there was a third person we could both join, then we could join that game. And that's not okay. And I really am surprised there has not been a bigger, it's kind of wonky most people don't care. They'll just, change everything. And when Sony says, "Hey, change your NAT to 0,"
Yeah,
and
maybe
open
most
up
people have
this.
a third friend.
Right.
That
And then
act
they
as
go,
that.
"I don't understand why you don't connect." But nobody's actually wonky enough, and I'm barely wonky enough. I just essentially go into Kevin and go, "Why do I have this problem?" "Well, your NAT's not open." "Well, can we open our NAT?" "Fuck no, we can't open our NAT." Are you kidding? That's crazy. That's stupid. That's like saying, "Oh, if in order for your dishwasher to work, you have to give everybody in the neighborhood your car keys." Okay, that's stupid. It's just It's really insecure, and I'm surprised more people have not made a bigger deal about how both Sony and Microsoft, in order to have all games play well, you have to open up all your security that essentially make yourself completely insecure. But another thing I miss about the 360 is trial versions. I really miss the indie store, especially now because now that Don't Starve's out, that's good. But at least in this initial early cycle where there's just not a whole lot of PlayStation 4 games, and what games are out there that I've liked, I've already played to death and kind of getting bored with them. At this point in the 360, whenever I was in that bored stage, I would go over to the indie game store. And that's where we would find things like Mount Your Friends or Home Run Challenge. Just the little stupid fun games that were crazy, silly fun. And then we'd tell all our friends, and then we'd all play it, and we'd all laugh our ass off. And maybe we'd play it for a week or maybe more. But at least it was there. And there's no indie store on PlayStation Store right now. And there's no trials. So if I see a game like, perfect example, you've been just quimming yourself about knack. I would love to buy knack, but I'm not going to pay $60 to play a game. Well, if I haven't spent at least a little while, if I'm not absolutely sure about it, to try it out. So I really miss the fact that there's little trials.
It's early in the game for both Xbox One and PS4.
Right, but I do miss that about the 360.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, the 360's been around for 7 years.
Right, but even at the beginning, 360 would not let you put your arcade XBLA game up on the XBLA unless you had a trial. In fact, a lot of developers really especially the indies, hated that because it caused them to have to work a little bit harder. But I think it did a real service, not only to their games, but also to their customers, us, to their users, the people that bought their consoles, that we could actually go in and dink around in a game and decide if it really was worth the anywhere between $10 and $60 to try a game.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. You definitely like the demos. You definitely like the trial versions, and that was great about the 360. And I don't doubt that that Xbox One and PS4 will have that eventually at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Or this PlayStation Now that we're talking about, maybe that's the way to go. So maybe, instead of a free trial for $3 or $4, you get to try it.
Right, and I'm very much looking forward to that. I see that filling that niche very, very well. That it could be. It's essentially a demo, but you have to pay for it. I kind of liked it free, but you
never know. They might have on Live had a 30-minute free demo of every game. So you could try it for 30 minutes.
I think you also might have just wait for more games to come out, because a lot of the games out now are that first wave of big budget games that are like, hey, you kind of know if you want this or not. And even then, I don't think that they would necessarily give demos for maybe the first run of games because they want you to buy it because that looks better on their spreadsheets.
Right.
So I think maybe you have to wait a bit longer for demos to become more of a thing.
Yeah, I hope so. I miss that almost as much as I miss the ease of chat. Boy, I miss the ease of chat. Oh, God, I miss the ease of chat.
It was quick and easy. But I tell you, we're lunking our way through the PS4, and we're getting in the chat rooms with really no problem.
And you know what? From what I understand, the chat on the One is even worse.
Oh, really?
Here, and they don't have a chat or a party chat.
I almost got a 1. End of the year, last day of the year, Kevin was like, we need more tax deductions. Is there anything you want at Best Buy? And I was like, he goes, how about a PlayStation 1? An Xbox One. We can get you Xbox One. And I was like, I just cannot. Even if we can afford it, I don't feel good about spending that much money on a console that I don't feel a need for. I'm not craving it at all.
You just kind of know you'd be wasting it.
I know I'd be throwing that money away because I know I probably wouldn't be going to it. And when I did, I wouldn't be happy with it.
$500, and then you that
you could just buy $500 worth of games.
Yeah.
Right. I could buy $500 worth of hair care products and probably be happier, but again, deduct that.
That's another podcast. Hey, anybody in the chat room has played Knack? Something really quirky happened with Knack. And I know what Knack is. You're a little cartoon going through this little platformer game, jumping and smashing stuff and fighting stuff. It's a lot like the Lego games, except you don't really assemble things too much. There are a couple of puzzles you got to solve or how to get through levels. They're fairly easy. Even girls could get through these levels, I would think. So that's not too bad.
What? What?
I like how Goldie kind of paused. Like, wait for E to come in. Wait.
No, I'm sorry. I just took my mind off the podcast because I was looking up CES news. So what did you say? I'm sorry. I was ignoring him again.
Listen, you have to go back and listen.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, the wife played Knack first, right? And if you add a second controller, so we got a second controller, so I could play Knack with her. You come in as a secondary character. It's couch co-op only, so you're on the same screen, and you're definitely a secondary character. Whereas if she was controlling Knack, the big guy, and if she took off and did something, and I got left behind, like I was just left off the screen, and then eventually I would reappear back on the screen and I could play with her again, okay? Mm-hmm. So I could help fight a little bit, but there's not much else I could do aside from just being a support character. And anytime that the main Knack went off screen or a cutscene came, I disappeared and then I would come back in. So did you ever play Sonic and Tails? Remember Tails in the Sonic game? You could play a secondary character on a second controller in the old Sonic game, but he would always disappear from the screen when Sonic took off, and then he would kind of float back in. Very, very similar to that. So we ended up, she got down to the higher levels, and I was playing with her on a secondary controller, and we finished Knack, okay? Finished the game, boss battle, we're done, final cutscene, credits, the whole bit. Now, when you get done Knack, supposedly now you open up some different game modes, whereas you can play any chapter you want. You can unload, I think it's Coliseum mode, which is basically just a big battle mode. So there's two or three different game modes you unlock at the end of Knack. And she didn't do that. She didn't get it. I played Knack all the way through on my account, finished it, and it said, congratulations, you've opened up these three game modes. So I'm wondering if it's because I played a second character with her that it didn't register as a finished game.
No, that can't be.
That's
I mean, if anything, like, she should have gotten credit, but you shouldn't have because she was first player and you were second player.
No. You're missing me. I signed out of hers, signed in on mine, and played Knack on my own all the way through.
Okay.
Okay, so I played my own Knack all the way through and finished it, and it unlocked this thing. When we played on her account, we were playing two controllers, and we beat the final boss. And when we did it, it never said you've unlocked these game modes. So she went back in and started a new game, and it started her like brand new, fresh, like she'd never played before.
That's odd.
Yeah, and so when I did it, it said, so now when you go through the game, you find all these secret rooms, and you get all these different things to build these gadgets that I talked about on the original show. And a lot of them, though, are incomplete because some of them need 7 gadgets, and you know, you'll get one gadget here, one part here, one part here, one part here for all these different things. And we never really completed any of the gadgets for her because we had like 5 out of 6 or 3 out of 4. But if you go back and play it again, now you can get the final parts. And, you know, so in other words, all the rooms open up again. They're all restocked, and you get the parts to complete these gadgets on the second playthrough. Kind of like Diablo. You play Diablo all the way through on the first mode, and you start it over again, but you keep everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the same thing with Knack was supposed to be. But that didn't happen with hers.
Barbara says she quit too soon and did not let it save.
That could have been it, because what I did today is I said, okay, this is weird. So I went into her account. I actually loaded the game, and it said, you want to load Chapter 13, Part 5, which is the final boss battle. Because she, like I said, and the other load was like Chapter 3. So I said, yes, load Chapter 13. So I went in and just beat the final boss for her, and it unlocked everything. So I did that today, but I was by myself. I didn't have the second controller on. So I don't know if...
And that was her account, right?
That was her account. So I basically put the boss battle up and finished it again. So either we didn't save it or it didn't save, or... But I thought we saw the credits. We saw the final screen, and we just said, okay, fine, that was that. You know, we come back to the main screen and started a new game. So
it sounds like it didn't save, or maybe you didn't save, but it sounds like it didn't recognize it.
Right. I don't want to know what you said, because she said, because Barbara is like, I think she said, screw you, Dave. And that came across the line.
Well, she had a lot of trouble with knack, from what I remember.
And she said, wait till you need help explaining something. No help here.
Yeah, well, me and Barbara have been in a lot of chat rooms lately. Like, she'd be playing knack, and I'd be playing knack, or, Mrs. Goaly's playing knack. So we'd be chatting a lot. She had a lot of problems with knack, from what I remember. And I was helping her out with a lot of different things with knack. So, so basically I was like her lifeline for knack. So she's probably a little upset that she had trouble with some of the simple puzzles, being a girl.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Screw you. Speaking of being a girl, you heard about Michael Bay at CES?
I read
Michael
something.
Bay, the director?
Yes. I heard something, so tell me about it. Tell me.
Okay, so he was on stage, and I forget which company he was with, but they were debuting a new television, because that's the big thing, I guess, at CES. The buzzword of the show is televisions and the curved screens and all that.
I thought it was Arctic Vortex was the buzzword.
No, that's the buzzword out your way. Out our way in Las Vegas, where it's warm, it's all about curved televisions. And he was on stage with, I'm going to look this up because I feel bad that I'm not giving you the full story. But he was on stage with a CEO of the television company. There was Samsung or Sony or somebody. Samsung. He was on stage with Joe Stinziano, Executive Vice President of Samsung Electronics. And you know how they bring them up? Somebody famous, and they have the CEO from the company, and then they have the famous person, and there's like a little interview about, like, tell me about your films and what you do with your films and what's important to you as far as the visual. And then, of course, the famous person will say, well, we'll focus on X, Y, and Z. And, that's the great thing about this product, is it's really going to bring you into this experience that blah, blah, blah. It's all PR, and it's scripted.
Okay,
so he's on stage with this Samsung vice president, and they're doing this little shtick, and they're reading off of a teleprompter. Well, Michael Bay fucks up in reading the teleprompter and doesn't wait for the executive vice president to say his line before he says his line. So it throws off the teleprompters. And in the process of trying to get his teleprompter right, the teleprompter shuts down. And he kind of says, oh, okay, my teleprompter shut down, so I guess I'm going to have to wing it. So the vice president continues on and goes like saying, well, talk to us about your movies. And Michael Bay just says, I'm sorry, I can't do this, and just walks off the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just shut down. He's like, yeah, I can't do this. Bye-bye.
That wouldn't like flip side fast. It's like, hey, my teleprompter shut down. Okay, well, let's try this. Nope, can't do it.
Now, the way that Fox News describes it, it says Bay's teleprompter appeared to fizzle. Then he seemed to be left speechless. I'm sorry, he managed to squeak out before literally running off stage, leaving Joe Stinziano of Samsung to pick up the pieces and finish the segment. He appeared briefly after the press conference, apologized to one or two people, and then disappeared again. Bay later posted in a statement on his website about the incident. He said he embarrassed himself. Yeah, but that's essentially, of all the things that are happening at CES, that was the big news about how Michael Bay stormed off stage. So, yeah, that's the big news. But the other, actually, one of the things that is not TV related that's coming out at CES, totally unrelated to gaming, but still very cool, is the whole BMW thing. You heard about that?
Nope.
BMW showed off self-driving cars and showed it drifting through curves. Self-driving.
Really?
Yeah. That's cool. Come on. That's got to give you a little teeny tiny bit of a nerd woody. No.
I'm with you. That could be like really, really cool. But
don't trust it.
I'm a little hesitant. I mean, self-driving cars are just...
We're not there
too
yet.
new.
Like connections to the internet for video games, self-driving cars. I'm not,
you know what?
I'm not going to stand in front of a car that drives itself without a human behind it. Just saying.
BBC.
But you know what? It is cool that they've gotten this far.
Yeah,
like that is
this
a good
fast.
step in the right direction.
Yep.
Someday it's going to be great.
Yep. BBC News Technology characterizes it as this: the modified 2 Series Coupe and 6, or that would be Coupe, I guess, for you Europeans, and 6 Series Grand Coupe.
Don't ever say coupe. That's
What the hell is that?
the
What kind
fuck?
of fluffle is that?
It's true.
Coupe.
It's not a coupe. It's a toupee, maybe.
It's called a coupe. In Brits,
Maybe a
back me up
three-pay
here.
or two-pay or
Come on.
one-pay.
Continentals need to back me up. They do call it a coupe in other places. That's not America.
Like I know this is great croupier, but that's something
That's
very
not a
different.
croupier, not a toupee, a coupe.
Coupe.
Modified Series 2
Even though
Coupe
We're not in Europe.
and,
We're not in Europe.
and 6 Series Grand Coupe are able
There
to
you go.
hurl around a racetrack and control a power slide without any driver intervention. Using 360-degree radar, ultrasonic sensors, and cameras, the car senses and adapts to their surroundings. BMW demonstrated its latest autonomous driving technology at the CES. In just one of several car manufacturers experimenting with the technology, Japan's Toyota is also been demonstrating its announced autonomous car at CES. And Bosch, better known for its white goods and power tools, showed off its smartphone-controlled self-parking technology at the show. Pretty awesome. I remember having a dream when I was many years ago, and I used to commute to my office, that I actually had a dream where the boss of the company was he was rich, but in real life. But in my dreams, he had a car where he could get in the car and just lean the seat back and sleep while it drove him to work. And little did I know, 15 years later, here, more than that, probably closer to 20 years later, here I am, and they're actually creating BMWs that will do that now.
See, I would rather, if I had my druthers, I would rather have a car that drove in the air over everything than sitting in traffic, letting a car drive it. I'd rather fly over everything and land.
Oh, man, I would way rather have a self-driving technology.
Like Stargate. Just get to the Stargate and just go.
Oh, yeah. It's all great until you end up with your elbow coming out of your forehead. No. I do not want to be dissolved into atomic particles and then reassembled somewhere else. Fuck that.
I would
You don't want to be transported?
No.
I would so get into that thing with like Jessica Simpson or something.
Just so you can end up with tits on your back.
Leave the house.
Yeah, that's the thing is that her tits would end up on your back where you can't reach them. How awesome would that be?
I'd keep bouncing back and forth till I got it right.
Pair of boobs on your knees. Oh, I'd be
You're
sitting
like,
down.
Almost.
Almost.
No, at that point, he's like, you know what? Is this good? Do I want to try something else? But see, if you're doing that, it's like when you're trying to create a character in the game and you keep choosing random, you get to a good one and you're like, I like this one, but maybe the next one's better.
I know, it's like the Showcase Showdown. Do I go for the next one or do I get on this one?
And then you go to the next one and it's worse and you're like, God damn it. And so you just keep doing it again 50 more times.
And then you finally get to one, it's like, it's almost as good as that one that I had. almost.
Yeah, it's never quite
Never
as good.
quite
I
as good as
should
that
have
first
stayed
one.
with the boobs on the knees. I
Yeah.
should have stayed on the knees. God damn it.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, we got M Hawk in the chat room.
Yeah, he is. Hey, let's talk about a little bit of news.
Okay. What, you want a news sounder? I have to add it. All right, hold on. Give me a second. It'll take just a moment.
This is what happens when you put chicks in charge, you know?
Hold on. Close. New sounder, dragging it in, lowering the volume, and let's talk some news. Come on, that's awesome. I'm great.
It's kind of like that cell phone commercial when the guy goes in the I think it was the AT&T store and he's talking to the chick and he's like talking to her and says like, you got a manager I can talk to? She goes, I'm a manager. He goes, oh good, finally someone I can talk to.
All right, so what's your news? Tell me about your news.
All right, so aliens being resurrected? Yes, it could be possible. Now, Nick, I know that y'all are all over this too. It's been on our Game Hounds Facebook page. There are actually 2 alien games coming out, and I'm a little confused between the two, and I'm going to try to sort them out. And if
I didn't know there were 2. I thought there was just
I thought there was one.
Yeah, this is what I'm here for. This is what guys do, okay? We do these things. We come out and show and
true,
whatever.
It's absolutely. Technically, it makes Nick not a guy, which is awesome. Welcome to the club. I'll help you hook your maxi pad together.
Nick, you're more of a guy than Edie. Let me just say that.
That's
so not true. Oh my God, I am so much more of a manly man than Nick is.
I was on Twitter and we were talking about the PlayStation camera and live feeds and stuff.
Yeah.
And if I might get a camera, I might get a PlayStation camera for the Twitch live feeds. I am so gonna show my tits. Just saying, if I get the camera, someone says show your tits, I'm gonna bust out the bit.
Please let us know if you do that because I want to make a big deal out of it and make it a world premiere.
That's gonna go viral. Man.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll run a little contest to see what song you should sing.
I got a crash Spreaker.
What karaoke you should sing for that? All showing your boobs.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, getting back to the news here. So 2 alien video games have been announced. Okay, one of them is the actual Alien. Think Colonial Marines. Think Alien 1, 2, 3, 4.
But
Alien
not Colonial. Wait a minute, not Colonial Marines, as in like the recent one or the older ones that were awesome.
The most recent one.
Okay, the shitty one.
Yeah, the shitty one. That's the Alien we're talking about. Okay, so the movie Alien. So there's a new game from the franchise of Alien coming out later this year. Let me see. I'm reading off of The Escapist, actually, was the link that we have from our Game Hounds Facebook page. And it's going to be a survivor horror title inspired by the Ridley Scott filmmaker.
Yeah, and that's Alien Isolation.
It's Alien Isolation, and the story picks up 15 years after the first film. And from what I understand, that I could be getting them confused, but so I'm not even going to say it. I don't want to confuse again. So we get Alien Isolation that's due out this fall. Then we have, from the makers of Left 4 Dead, Alien, but it's called Evolve. And both aliens look very similar. Okay? So Left 4 Dead is coming out with one called Evolve. So we have 2 alien games come out. Boy, I tell you, maybe Nick could explain the difference between the 2.
Well, I'll look up Alien Evolve, but I know Alien Isolation seemed to be like a straight-up horror game, not an action game.
Okay.
Like, the whole premise of it is that you're Ridley's daughter who kind of goes on this mission to salvage the ship that, like, disappeared on. And when she gets there, there's an alien on the ship, and it's like kind of a game of cat and mouse where you are trying to explore this ship and do something. I don't know. And this alien is kind of stalking you and hunting you as you do it. And it's just you and that one alien. And you don't have any guns. Your only weapon is the motion detector. And so it's...
Dog alarm is about to go off, just so you know.
Okay. Wait, dog alarm?
Yep.
Post office.
And dog didn't even notice. Awesome. PS guy. Sorry. Just want to give you.
So yeah,
anyway.
it's like a straight classic survival horror game.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that's way different from what Colonial Marines was.
Mm-hmm.
Colonial Marines tried to be an action game and utterly failed in every way.
Not completely. It was fun.
No, it was okay. Like it was fun for an hour, and then it kind of started to wear you down until it like broke your spirit.
Yeah. It was kind of like it was almost like cock blocking you from playing itself.
It was cock blocking you from being fun. It's like you're playing this and you're trying to have fun, and the game just kept blocking.
Every time you started to have fun, it's like, nope, none of that, not allowed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Keep moving.
Yeah, is an alien game you're gonna have fun? No, we're not gonna have fun. It's like, stop cock blocking me. I want to play alien game.
So what is this other one?
So
I don't know. What was the name of it?
Evolve. It's actually on the cover of Game Informer magazine coming out.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. A shooter that pits a team of 4 human hunters against a single player-controlled alien that grows more powerful over the course of the matches. So it sounds like it's going to be a Left 4 Dead type of thing.
Is that like Alien has in like part of the franchise, or is that just
this is just a generic
Alien?
Yeah, no, this is just generic Alien.
Okay, so it's just like
it's not from outer space. Well, it is from outer space.
Well, I was going to say,
but it's not like part of the Alien franchise.
No, it's not part of the Alien franchise. It's not anybody
But
out of the country or anything.
It's probably going to be a better Aliens Colonial Marines game than Aliens Colonial Marines.
I think any game is better. I think Don't Starve is a better Aliens Colonial Marines game.
This is a shooter, and it's co-op. It's a co-op game, but you're also playing. But it's also competitive multiplayer, so it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
So this
any release dates on that, or do we know?
This fall on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, there was one game I saw. I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember exactly where I saw it, so this is very, very helpful. But it was
more awesome reporting from the Game Hounds news staff.
Well, I just
It's
remember
not the internet.
this description of the game. These guys described it as like Left 4 Dead meets Shadow of the Colossus. It was a multiplayer game where like one player would actually be playing as the giant Colossus, and 5 other people would be the little humans teaming up to take it down. And just the concept sounds really awesome. But it wasn't. It was like coming out in 2015, so they weren't even really close to it.
Okay, well, get on that, Nick. Be right there at the breaking news on games we don't know the name of and have no idea who's making it.
That aren't even coming out this year.
That aren't even coming out for 2 years.
You just got buried. You did. Wait. Come on, Edie, Skype high five.
Skype.
Fist bump. Oh, that was hilarious. Nick just got destroyed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to destroy you. I'm making fun of us. It's not you, and it's not me. It's us.
It's so much funny to watch someone else get shit on. That's awesome. I get tears coming out of my eyes right now.
I don't mean to shit on people.
Somebody coming out at some point that I heard about a rumor from.
Come on.
Get on that, Nick.
All right, so something we do have slightly sourced, speaking of games that are not coming out next year.
Where's the fun in that?
Remember
accurate reporting? That's just boring.
Remember The Division? That MMO that looked really cool. Ubisoft, they announced it last year at that thing that we don't go to anymore, E3. Yeah. Well, it turns out there was a rumor. Ubisoft Massive had a little bit of a leak to Game Reactor. Somebody within Ubisoft, massive in the developer, said that the Division is in way bigger trouble. I shouldn't say trouble. It's the development of the game is nowhere near where we might have been led to believe, especially
so
at
you're
E3.
saying it's not coming out next year. Speaking of games that aren't coming out next year,
It's not coming out next year. Wait, hold on.
here's another game.
Wait, let me finish.
Sure.
Let me finish.
Because you know the name of it.
I know the name of this game. At least I know the name and the developer of the game that's not coming out this year. Next year.
Sure.
Anyway, according to this source, the quote is, the game engine works well, but it's not done, but it works well. The actual game development has barely started, however. The fact that Ubisoft has gone public with a 2014 release date feels laughable, to be perfectly honest. We will never be able to release The Division this year. It's a large project, and we have very far to go.
No, it sucks.
Joystick contacted Ubisoft, and they got this response, surprisingly. We do not comment on rumors and speculation.
We do.
We do. Hell, we comment on stuff that we make up out of whole cloth. We'll give lots of comments.
That's all we do.
That's our bread and butter. You're right.
I mean, that's my job for this year.
Comment on rumors.
Yeah.
And complete lies.
We even make up a few.
Oh, fuck yeah. If we only commented and had opinions on things that were real, do you realize how short the show would be?
Oh, man.
We don't even have a show.
To watch.
No.
Game who? So, okay. So, anybody else? Nick, I know Nick and Goalie had quite a few news stories.
I think it's mostly the alien stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Somebody mentioning about PlayStation Now. We talked about that extensively on the podcast, and then we're also talked about it earlier.
I did see something that just came out now that the whole Silicon Knights vs. Epic Games lawsuit is finally reached its conclusion. Silicon Knights had appealed to the court, and just now that appeals court ruled again in favor of Epic. And so really the only thing Silicon Knights would have to do now is appeal to the Supreme Court, but there's no constitutional reason for them to do so. So it's over. The battle is finally over. I'm just reading the headline because I was just kind of cruising through news that I had missed earlier. We're talking about the Aliens Evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It's being made by Left 4 Dead creator Turtle Rock.
We just said that.
Did you? I missed that.
I have a distinct memory.
Okay, fuck you. I'm just not listening. I just check in with you in order to destroy you and then check back out.
So
going back to my cave.
You're just saying, yeah, honey, yep,
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you do.
You do that to me all the time.
What?
And in case you're ever wondered, no, Gully and I are not married. Not at all. Seems like it sometimes.
No, I like women.
Fuck you. That's true. I am, like I said, I am more of a manly man than most manly men.
Oh, too funny.
God, I wish
you were explaining earlier the difference between an eviction and an erection.
Yeah, you explained it. You had a great explanation of what an eviction is. I was talking about an eviction. Goalie thought he heard me say erection. And his explanation of the difference is this. Da, 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 da.
So the difference between an eviction and an erection is one you're moving out and one you're moving in.
Just had to get that joke in.
Boom.
I thought it was funny at the time.
It was very funny. It still is. It's
very
awesome.
funny
You're a genius. You really are.
Stop.
Any other news from around the world? Has anybody played or heard of us?
A bunch of people that left EA, a bunch of heads of different studios.
Yeah. Oh, who was it?
The guys from Criterion left.
Yeah,
the
Criterion.
Guys from Chilingo left.
Chilingo too.
I think didn't they do Cut the Rope?
Yes.
Is that what
Yeah,
they
I
did?
think
They
so,
did
yeah.
a bunch of other. What was another one that I think Chilingo also did that. That little game where you had the little. Was it Sneezies? Yeah, Sneezies that I really liked. I think that was Chilingo. God, I loved that game.
Yeah, a lot of people leaving.
Yeah, and really no very good explanations of why they're leaving. Like the Criterion games heads, they were very cryptic about why they were leaving. They just kind of said, we want to move on. And then other people are speculating that they're going to open up another studio.
I think that's a given. I mean, what do game developers do when they leave
Right.
a big publisher?
Right. But I'm just kind of wondering why you would start a game publisher and then I guess be acquired and then leave and then start another game publisher, unless
Well,
it's.
I know Criterion had been, like, most of the people at Criterion left to form this new studio called Ghost, and that's who actually developed Need for Speed Rivals is Ghost, not Criterion. Although that's like it's mostly ex-Criterion guys. And Criterion was supposedly working on some other project, but it was like, maybe 10 people that still had the Criterion name.
Right.
So at that point, it's kind of like, well, our studio is not dead, but not really doing much of
Yeah,
anything.
it's not really Criterion anymore.
Yeah, so maybe they're like, you know what, we want to go do something.
So it didn't meet the criteria of a game then.
Oh,
But bum.
Someone had to say it.
no, they didn't. Zynga's going to be using Bitcoins now. As if, like, online poker isn't skeevy enough already, you can now use your Bitcoins to play poker. God, this whole Bitcoin
does
thing.
Zynga actually have an online poker thing? I thought they gave up on the.
Oh, no.
gambling.
I've been getting, like, ads, little spam ads on. Is it Facebook or I think it's Facebook or Twitter or something? But yeah, Zynga's has their online poker now because God, well, just steal drugs. If you're going to do that, just steal drugs. I was streaming last night. Don't Starve came out yesterday. I guess, or the day before. I think it was yesterday. But Don't Starve is out in the wild, and if you have any questions about whether you can play a PC point and click game well on a console, the answer is fuck yes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a little clunky getting into your menus.
Diablo was though. Diablo was point and click, and that ported over really well.
It ported over very well. This ports over almost as well. In fact, moving around and doing things like chopping down trees or mining rocks, that's actually much easier with a console. It is a little clunky in going into your create menu and getting into your inventory. They have done a couple of very good things in that when you go into your inventory, it actually stops the game for as long as you are in that inventory. But it's a really good use of the controller itself, all the D-pad and all that other stuff. But
did you use the touchpad in any way?
I did not see anything that did require the touchpad other than touching and pressing it to get the map. Using the button underneath it to pull a map up. But that was about it.
Well, that was the big thing. Just not to hop on Diablo 3, but that's getting hammered by the PC community because it come over to PlayStation and Xbox, and they're saying, it's not really a PC game. It's the worst game ever. I loved it. I love how it plays, but it was very different than PC.
Right, and that's the thing, is that you have to realize it is going to be a slightly different game. When EverQuest went over to the PlayStation 2, a lot of people said, that's not real EverQuest. Don't even call it EverQuest. How dare you use the phrase EverQuest?
No,
It was a great game. I played the fuck out of that game. I actually made some lifelong friendships with that game. So those things can happen. You just have to be a little accepting of the fact that if you're going to be a purist, and unfortunately MMOs tend to, and cult, big games with big cult followings tend to be people that are, if there's any change to their game, it's not a real game, and you're not a real gamer, and that kind of.
You're not a real duck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Banksy, you're not a real duck.
So yeah, it's good. It's I played it probably for an hour last night, and started to feel myself dropping into the wormhole of Don't Starve.
Oh no!
Did you jump into the wormhole?
Yeah, no. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that the wormhole, you don't jump into a wormhole. That would require that you're misunderstanding the laws of gravity. You are sucked into a wormhole, and this game will suck you in.
There's like a literal wormhole in Don't Starve.
Oh no, I've never actually gone into those wormholes.
Oh really? Chaos was asking me about that the other night, and told him, yeah.
It's okay. Here's the rule of ever listening to when you're playing a new game and you say, "Should I do this?" and Nick says, "Yeah, I'll go ahead, go do it." Don't do it. Nick's an asshole that way.
This was one instance where I wasn't lying. Wormholes and Don't Starve are actually really pretty helpful.
Really? Because I've gone into them and just met instant death.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they transport you to another part of the map. But if you don't like that other part of the map, you can always jump back into the wormhole.
Oh, I didn't. No, I thought. Are you talking about the holes that have the teeth that open up their mouth and growl at you?
The holes that are worms.
Oh, I was under the impression it transported you to something like a cavern or something. Oh, I guess those are the holes that you actually mine the hole.
Be careful. Holes with teeth. You got to be careful.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I've seen teeth.
What?
She was hot, actually. That chick.
Yeah, see, Goalie knew exactly what I was talking about.
You just don't make her mad. You say nice things to her.
What was the name of that horrible movie about the woman who grew teeth in her vagina?
Teeth.
That's right, yeah. Teeth. That is teeth. Okay. EA wants your opinion on Battlefield 4. Whether you love Battlefield 4 or despise its constant crashes and tendency to lose save files, EA wants to hear from you. Publisher has issued a survey to members of the Battlefield 4 community, which first asks players to rate the likelihood that they would recommend Battlefield 4 to a friend, and then asks for a short, personalized review of the open-world first-person shooter. There's no tangible reward.
It ain't no open world.
I wouldn't call it open world either, but Joystick called it open world. I'm just reading straight out of Joystick, so don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger.
Boy, I tell you, if I had to give a review of that, I love playing that game. I'm addicted to it. It's frustrating, screaming, yelling at the TV type of fun. But boy, I have never played a game that I've had to restart or reboot or crash so many times.
Yeah, well, the crashing has got increasingly better and it's sometimes it'll take 2 steps forward, then it'll take 1 step back. But I've noticed it has gotten
better. A good thing or a bad thing?
No, I should say it's crashing less.
That could go either way.
The stability
what happens
is better.
A lot is that if you go to like a quick match or you go to join a game that's ending, it tries to load, and then you get the black screen of death, and it just sits there, and you're in between games, and you go nowhere. So you actually got to close the application and reboot it.
Right. I've been getting that with Warframe a lot lately.
Really?
Yeah, at the end of a match, it will say, especially if it's my first win of the day or first match of the day, I'll go into it and I'll play the whole thing and it'll bring me up to the final screen, and then it'll try and take me back out into the lobby, and it will just sit on black screen of death, and then I have to restart Warframe. It doesn't lock up the PlayStation 4, but it does.
Yeah, no,
lock up the game.
Battlefield doesn't lock it up. It just sits there and it looks like it's loading, and you're just better off just closing it, restarting in 20 seconds.
But oddly enough, Battlefield is a game that I have not had any issues with the security settings keeping me out. I have never had a problem connecting with anybody on Battlefield.
Although there's a
it's also
with the chat though.
Mm-hmm.
The chat is a problem. I think you can chat within your squad.
Yes,
but it's not working well at all. So if you get into a party, obviously it's no problem.
Right.
But I've had people tell me that I've heard some people from time to time, and some people said they've heard me from time to time. in the game itself. But yeah, the chat really doesn't work very well yet.
Yeah, I haven't really done much non-party. I'm usually in a party when I'm playing that game, but not always. And there has been a couple of times and I've actually had really good experience, but I haven't certainly done it enough that I would notice if someone's, because it could be that when I don't hear anybody talking, it's because the chat feature is not working. And rather than people not talking, because a lot of people really, something I just noticed on PlayStation, although it's changing now. Back in PlayStation 3 days, nobody talked on PlayStation because you didn't have cross-platform chat. So It wasn't really a social console, whereas 360 was terribly social. And that was why one of the big reasons it was such a successful console, because it was social. Sony missed the boat on that one on the PlayStation 3, but they made up for it with the PlayStation 4. They got it. They realized they fucked up. They fixed it. Sales numbers for Xbox One. Microsoft sold 3 million Xbox Ones. PlayStation or Sony sold 4.2 Xbox or PlayStation 4s between November 15th and December 28th. So it looks like, I don't want to characterize this as a who wins, who loses, but it does look like the PlayStation 4 sold a lot more. Boy, and I don't know, did we talk about it last week? About how the PlayStation Network was just fucked on Christmas Day for about 2 days?
The day after Christmas.
Yeah.
We couldn't play.
Yeah, because of course everybody got all those PlayStations that were bought. Not all of them, but a good portion of those PlayStations that were bought after launch were Christmas presents. So of course, the initial, and I didn't think about it at the time, but the initial pounding that the servers got on launch day was only a small portion of actual people that bought the consoles. And that all of the joy that we had, well, a portion, it was a significant portion. There was a very significant amount of those consoles ended up, and especially from there on out, a significant amount of those consoles never entered the server stream until Christmas Day. And when it happened, man, it was like a wall.
Do you really think that? Do you really think a lot of people got them early and hung on to them for Christmas? Do you think this was just like the second round?
It was probably mostly second round, but I think a lot of people did.
I think it's kind of the same thing.
What do you mean, kind of?
Well, actually, I would say maybe it's the third round, because I remember during Black Friday, it was having some troubles because I had bought a PSN subscription card, but I couldn't redeem it because PlayStation had temporarily suspended code redemption in an attempt to keep things stable.
Right, which sucked because there were so many people that had codes for PlayStation Network. They couldn't get on a PlayStation Network, even though they just bought their machine. And PlayStation Network now is kind of essential to have to play PlayStation 4. Whereas before it was it's not essential. You don't have to have it.
Although what is cool is that they did give you a month free when you got the PlayStation, and they even gave you $10 on PSN.
Oh, I still have to use that. I forgot about that.
I know, because I actually spent some money to buy Platinum and Warframe recently, sometime last week, and it was a $40 thing, and that's when I realized, oh wait, I've still got this $10 credit, so it was only $30, and I was like, hey, all right, thumbs up, PlayStation, thank you.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
AC Wraith is pointing out that there were the DDoS attacks on the game networks. Yeah, oh boy, that was bad. Biggest one that affected, I think, the most amount of people was the Steam got hacked by actually it looks like it might be multiple people all working in consort to hack game networks. But the Steam client and the Steam store experienced intermittent outages last week during the Steam sale, which sucked. The DDoS attack looks like it happened on Wednesday or Thursday night. And it was really bad by Friday. And one Twitter user who went by the online handle Chiff the Cat claimed to be part of the group that hacked the Steam servers and was on Twitter kind of antagonizing and trolling people, saying, "How do you like your Steam sale now, fuckers?" That kind of stuff. Anyway, nobody's verified that that's the individual person or persons, or he's connected to any network of people that were doing the hacks. But the outage came after also DDoS hacks on the Origin, EA's PC game service, and also on Blizzard's Battle.net and League of Legends online infrastructure as well. So it was all bad and no good reason. And Goli had some very interesting thoughts during the show about how when those darn kids grow up and they become our age and somebody does this to them, it's not going to be so funny anymore, is it, fuckers?
Yeah, it's funny when you steal somebody's bicycle and somebody steals your bicycle. It's just not fun.
Right. Well, so anyway, bunch of kids fucking around. And by kids, I mean mentally. I have no idea what chronologically they are. So yeah, I'm wondering if Steam is going to do something nice for people, given that...
I don't think so. I don't think it was that major of an issue.
It was a pretty major issue to have it happen during the Steam sale. It's one thing to have it
I
Origin
mean,
and Battle.net
and
and
sale every day, and I could never not buy anything. At most,
Really?
I always had trouble connecting to the community market, where people would sell or trade, like the trading cards. That's what I had issues with, connecting to the market. But like actually purchasing stuff or playing online, I didn't have an issue.
Bunch of people on my Facebook friends list had problems getting into the store itself. That it was,
really?
That they couldn't buy stuff. In fact, I heard them kvetching about how it was down, and I was thinking, wow, I guess the Steam sale's more popular than we thought. Didn't really think it through that if you're not going to have problems over Steam summer sale, you're not going to have problems over Steam's Christmas sale, because it's nowhere near the amount of people for that sale it is for the summer. I just kind of didn't use my brain on that one. But now that I hear about the DDoS attacks, now I'm remembering all the people that were on my Facebook feed that were crying, very upset that they wanted to buy these games and couldn't. Probably for the best, because you weren't going to end up playing those games anyway. That's the nature of Steam sales. You buy a bunch of stuff you don't play.
God, I have so many.
Me too.
I won't buy
still have stuff on the summer sale I haven't even opened.
I'm the same way. It's like, that's why I'm backing off. I got all excited and bought a bunch of stuff. They actually did try out a few games for a minute here, a minute there, but I haven't gone back.
Yeah, I want to start doing that. I want to just kind of start playing a game for like an hour that I bought, just to see what it's like. Is this game any good? I bought it for $2.
Steam Machine from Digital Storm.
Oh yeah, they released like all those Steam machines at CES.
Right, and that's another big thing at CES is all the Steam machines. Wow, but they're expensive. Wow, are they expensive?
Right? Because aren't some of them crazy cheap too?
I haven't seen the crazy cheap ones, but I've been hearing about the crazy expensive ones. The Bolt 2, which is Digital Storm's Steam Machine hybrid, due out this month, $1,900. Yeah. There's another one, I forget, it's some girl's name, like Carmela or something, that's like $2,500. It's like, wow, I can appreciate you wanting to spend that much money on a computer, but dude, this is a Steam machine, A, which is still a computer, but B, it's Steam. Most of the games you buy on Steam, you don't even play.
Yeah. Yeah, Well, that's just kind of the weirdness of buying a high-end computer. Is that, like, man, you're going to spend a lot of money now, and, it's going to be kind of pointless in the car. Maybe not pointless. Maybe that's too harsh.
Yeah. And I guess Steam is working so directly with a bunch of manufacturers that we knew that they were going to work with manufacturers specifically to have kind of like Valve sanctioned, like trademark and approved and whatever certified Steam machines that they were going to kind of officially endorse. And but we didn't know who these developer or these companies were that they were going to be working with. But I guess at CES it was kind of released, or at least leaked, that or people learned that Dell subsidiary Alienware is going to be one of them. Taiwanese manufacturer Gigabyte. And there's about a bunch of other ones, but there's going to be 12 third parties in Engadget's list of these. There are 12 third party companies in the list that Engadget list posted for companies that are going to be making officially sanctioned Steam machines. Let's see. Actually, here it is. It's Alienware, Alternate, CyberPower PC, Digital Storm, Falcon Northwest, Gigabyte, iBuyPower, Material.net, Next Scan Computers, Webhalen, and Zotac.
I recognize 2 of those.
Which ones?
Digital Storms and Alienware.
Yeah, I recognize Digital Storm, Alienware. Falcon Northwest is the one that I bought my gaming PC from. They're fucking awesome. They're out of up in Washington State. They are so awesome. And I love my Falcon Northwest gaming PC. I used it for years for World of Warcraft.
Wow,
that was my World of Warcraft game machine, and it was a beast. God, I love that thing. It was all like custom made for me. You cracked it open, and it had like my name engraved inside of it. It was awesome. Man, that gives you a gigantic nerd woody when you see that. And then iBuyPower, they was news about that months ago, about iBuyPower's doing a...
Yeah, because they were like the first one that announced,
right,
hey, we're going to make a Steam machine.
Right. And everybody was
like,
Steam
I was
machine,
like, I don't know who this person is, but I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That random Joe 82 can put out a video game console.
So there are some advantages to being the first, because everybody remembers your name.
Yep.
Far Cry 2 lead designer Clint Hocking is no longer working at Valve.
Yeah, I found that incredibly depressing.
Yeah.
Because he's made some really great games, and I would love to see him make another one, but he's jumped from place to place so often that he just never has a chance to actually make a game. Like, he was at Ubisoft
right,
for a couple years after making Far Cry 2, and then he left.
Right.
And then he went to LucasArts. And he was there for a couple years, and then he left.
Well,
and
when did he
Valve.
leave?
He was there for a couple years.
You will not there. No. All right. I don't blame LucasArts. You cannot count the LucasArts jump.
Well, I can, just because
he left in early 2000. All right. Let's just say if somebody had slightly inside information about what might have been happening at that time, I think that it would be a safe bet that people at a certain level within the video game company at Lucas would have had some ideas of things that were going to happen later on in the year. Let's just say that. It would be not inconceivable to say, since LucasArts sold everything. Well, Lucas sold everything to Disney, and that the video game portion of the company was completely disbanded and shut down shortly before, if not shortly after. That it would not have been inconceivable for someone at the level of a creative director to know that there were things coming down the pipeline that might make it better for him to leave earlier than later.
True.
Yes. So you can't blame... He didn't really hop off the LucasArts Express.
I just think it's frustrating that, like, this guy that's made great games seems to be cursed.
Well, they're all kind of cursed. I mean, look, what was the name of that dude that made that game for Ubisoft, for Assassin's Creed?
The dude that made that game?
Yeah, shut up. Shut up. I know where you're going with that, and you could stop right there. Just freeze.
You just been stuffed.
Was it Assassin's Creed? Was the guy that...
yeah, and
right.
He went to THQ, and then he went to Ubisoft, and Ubisoft fucked him over, and now he's suing Ubisoft.
Right. He went into THQ. He was at Ubisoft, and they fucked him over, so then he went to THQ, and then Ubisoft bought THQ, and then they fired him again. Yeah, that's the nature of the business. People have bad luck in this business. It's just the way things are.
That's true. People
Yeah.
have had a lot of bad luck.
Do you remember his name? Yves Guillemot, was that his name?
That
No,
was the
Yves
first thing
Guillemot-
that came to my mind, but I don't know if that's what it actually is.
I think isn't Yves Guillemot the head of Ubisoft? Yves Guillemot?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I just
No,
like
it's
saying
Always
his
the
name.
Canadians.
I don't know what his name is.
So, any other news you guys saw or heard over the last week that was interesting? Anybody in the chat room have any things you want us to comment on? By the way, yes, Don't Starve. So far, 1 hour into it, it's good.
So how
it's
do you
good.
play it? Tell me how to play it.
All right. The overall arching point of Don't Starve is to not die. You are
Don't stop.
right. You are placed in a world where you have absolutely nothing. You will arrive into this world and you have to start picking things. Your first, I would say, 3 to 4 days. And here's the deal is that at night, in the dark, if you were in the dark, things will come out at night and kill you. So you cannot be in the dark. You're perfectly fine during the day. You're perfectly fine during dusk. But once night falls in earnest, you have to be near a source of light, which means you have to light a fire. So the first thing that you need to do when you start is to collect grass and twigs and flint. Because as soon as you hit the first, get as much as you possibly can. Because the first moment, and flowers are good too, because you'll make a garland, a head garland, and put that on your head, and it will keep your sanity level up. Because you have to worry about your health, your hunger, and your sanity. So you go around that first day, collect grass, twigs, flint, because you will need those in order for when it hits dusk. As soon as it hits dusk, build yourself an axe and start chopping down trees. Chop down trees until shortly before night, and then build a campfire. And you will sit there at campfire. Usually good to build a campfire. Just do a campfire. Don't do a fire pit. Do a campfire, because that's temporary. But you will, if you can do it, near enough to trees so that you can chop them down by firelight, but not so close to trees that you set the trees on fire. That would be bad.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
So does it tell you how to make an axe?
The axe is already. It's if you look on the left hand side of your screen, you'll see essentially recipes, menus. It's a build menu all the way down.
It's
your
like
thing.
the Minecraft.
Yeah, it is. It's
A little
Minecraft
bit.
Mean.
A little bit, but there's an element of fun where Minecraft was just not. Wow. Okay. All right. There's the element of the fun of trying to stay alive. It's a little bit more challenging, which makes it more fun. So you build your axe, then you chop down trees. Then the next day, keep moving, and you're trying to uncover as much of the map as you can, because what you need to do is you need to set up a permanent camp. Your best permanent camps, because of the things that try to kill you, your very best permanent camp is near beefalo. Those are big, cow things with horns. You don't want to build on grassland. I like to build in kind of an area where it's a cross between the woods are nearby, so I can get wood whenever I want to, and grass is nearby, so I can, when I need to plant seeds, I can fertilize, have a good farm going, but also near enough to beefalo, because you'll need them for manure and you will need them for protection. So anyway, you just keep going through the motions of uncovering as much of the map as you can. Don't engage. Don't fight anything. The first times, don't fight anything. Your first night, you should build yourself a grass suit, which allows you a little bit of armor. And then when you find a place that you want to set your permanent camp, and then the first thing you need to build is an, science machine? Because that will open up more recipes and more things that you can build. You're going to need to have gold nuggets for that. So if you come across any, probably your second or third day as you're wandering around, if you come across any rocks that are tall and they have big veins in them, not the little ones that are just like a mound, that it's uniform gray, but ones that look like they're different, they've got veins of ore in them, you want to go and you want to get those, because you need the rocks and you need the gold. You're definitely going to need rocks because eventually to boil the fire pit and just about everything else, you're going to either need rocks or cut stone. So, yeah. And that sets you up. Once you've got your science machine, then quickly build yourself, if you can, an alchemy engine, which you need the science machine to build the alchemy engine. And then you've got pretty much the basic recipes that you can get. Because once you prototype something, you have to stand next to the machine in order to prototype it. Once you prototyped it, you can build it anywhere. So you can prototype all the things that you need so that you can get the essential requirements to set up a farm, to get a shovel, to be able to dig up berry bushes. By the way, you also want to be picking up berries and carrots as well while the whole time. If you see a berry or carrot, pick it up because you're going to need it to stay alive. Don't forget to cook your food at night. Do not eat the food raw unless you absolutely have to. Cook it because you will get more hunger points towards feeding yourself if it's cooked rather than raw.
Now, I imagine this will make more sense when I'm playing it rather than trying to listen to it.
Yeah, it'll make a whole lot more sense. We'll walk you through it. I would recommend there's a really good article on Joystick Today that they wrote. What is it? It's called the Don't Starve Console Edition. Here it goes. Stick tips. Don't Starve Console Addiction Guide. Addiction. Don't Starve Console Edition Guide. That is a really good guide. There's a number of good guides out there that are Don't Starve survival guides. There's a couple of them that I read about that take you through like day 1 through 5. Here's your goal. Day 5 through 10. Here's your goal. Day 10 through 20. This is your goal. And it helps a lot because eventually winter will come and everything changes and you are on the verge of freezing at all times unless you have made preparations during the summer.
Yeah, but this is something we actually talked about on the other show, is how games nowadays, they're making you go do homework to play these games. You have to go online and research how to play these. You can't just sit and play a game anymore.
A lot of them are.
Someone's got to help you with these games. And it's getting really frustrating that I can't just sit down and play without you or someone else, like even Warframe and Killzone. I had a couple, people on my friends list. Take me by the hand and walk through some of these missions.
Because you have to be taken by the hand. There is absolutely no explanation for a lot of these things.
But there's no excuse for why that has to be.
No, well, here's the excuse. Is that I have noticed that the ones that have the least amount of documentation or least amount of explanation of how to play the game are games that originated on the PC and were moved to console. And the developers are assuming two things. One, either you've played it on the PC and you want to play it on the console, or two, that there's enough documentation out there from people who've played it on PC that if you don't know how to play it, you can go look it up on the internet, which I think is lazy.
Don't Starve didn't have much documentation.
No.
On PC.
No.
To begin with.
No, it did not. It had no documentation. In a way, I'm gonna forgive Don't Starve a little bit because that's kind of what Don't Starve is about. Is you're dropped into a situation and you have no fucking idea what to do.
What's that game? Myst. It's a lot like that.
Right, but Myst in the same way, Myst was about you're dropped in a situation, you don't know where you are, it's a world with all this weird stuff around it, and you don't even know what to do. But that was the kind of the point of Myst. It's kind of the point of Don't Starve, is trying to survive, not knowing what to do. And learning by doing it over and over again.
Tell me if I'm doing it right, okay? I don't want to be wasting my time if it ain't good for either one of us. Tell me if I'm in the right spot. You know what I mean? And these games are assuming that you're just going to go and spend all this time exploring.
Right, or that you're going to go and then you're going to die and you're going, what the fuck was that? And then go to the internet. And I think that that's a mistake on consoles because it was a little easier on PC games. Because if you fuck up on a PC game, you have a browser on your PC that you don't have to get up, you don't have to move, you don't have to go anywhere. You just look on your PC and there it is. You've got it on your screen. It's got an instant access to user information. Consoles don't. It's not automatically just sitting there running anyway. You can't just open a new tab. You actually, if you're going to use the browser on the PC or on the console, you have to actually go out, restart something. It's not just jump to another tab. So and if you don't want to use the browser that's kind of clunky on a console, then you have to get up, go to your computer, or pull out your iPhone and look it up that way. And not everything is optimized for iPhone, so sometimes you can't get a really good site. So I don't think it's a good idea either. But I will forgive it for Myst. I'll forgive it for Don't Starve, because those are kind of the point.
Yes, I played
of
Myst,
the game.
I actually got the hint book. I actually bought a book back in the day. Bought a book, a physical book that walked you through. And I had
Made them read.
What game? Oh, for Myst?
for Myst, yeah. I had
Yeah.
fun. It's like, okay, so walk over here, click this. So I played Myst with the book telling me what to do. It was like an open book test, and that's how I got through Myst. It was like,
Did you have fun?
Hang on a sec. A, it was kind of cool that I actually got to play the game, even though my hand was held the whole way. And B, there is no way in hell I ever would have finished this or figured out anything that was in that book without the book. There's just no way I would have done it. I saw the things they had you do. It was like you got to flick these two switches first and then this one third. I never would have figured that out. And then go to the other part of the island to see what it does. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the problems with Myst is that it just came from the era of crazy PC adventure games.
Right. The Lucas Arts when you had what was it? Full Throttle and Grim Fandango.
So I don't know how well it holds up.
Yep.
It was a game I played in the 90s, the late 90s on the PC. And it was some adventure game that was kind of fun. You were this guy going around doing stuff or whatever. And then we ended up, like I say, I don't know if we searched online, I got a book or a hint or something about this game. And it turned out that we played this game, I don't know, 10, 15 hours. And because we couldn't get over this one part and didn't know what it was, our guy wasn't strong enough because he didn't pick up rocks and throw rocks to increase that skill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And we had to start the game completely over because
that's fucked up. That's a
who
JRPG bullshit thing to pull.
Who would have ever thought to bend over, pick up rocks, and throw them 50 times to build up our rock skill throw? That's what I'm talking about. It's stuff like that it's like, so we looked at each other and I said, well, we're done with this game. We're not going to go back and play it all again just because we didn't pick up rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Kevin Bulware says that was the way games were for years. Part of the game was figuring things out. Look at the amount of crazy stuff you had to do in Legend of Zelda and Castlevania. And Yeager said, original Metroid. Oh my God. So this is not unheard of that you have to do that, but seems to be this time it seemed to be a little bit more of laziness on the part of the developers.
Of menus with pictures. Okay, we have pictures on our menus now. Okay,
just point to what you want. I want that one.
That looks good.
That looks good.
So, I mean, why are we trying to, so now it's like, why are we assuming we're going to go spend all this time trying to figure out your game? I want to play your game. I don't want to figure out how to play your game. I have so much time.
I have actually, I kind of enjoy, I know you're on it. I enjoy kind of trying to figure stuff out. Especially, I actually really don't mind going to the internet and going, God, I keep on dying right at this point. What do I do about the XYZs? And you look it up and you go, and you see all these people talking about how to figure out how to survive the XYZ.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay to do that for a puzzle, but it's not okay when basic controls of the game are like that.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. There was this part in Portal 2 that I could not figure out, and when I went online, I was doing it right. I guess I just wasn't hitting the hole correctly to get my guy through it.
Giggity.
I was doing but I was doing everything right. You were going down into the fire, and on one of the things in Portal 2, you're going into the fire, and you're like, okay, you're gonna die now. And I managed to shoot it at a wall, and I just couldn't jump. So okay, obviously this ain't the wall I'm supposed to shoot. What am I supposed to do? Well, no, that was the wall I was supposed to shoot. I just wasn't doing it right. But Nick said,
I had a couple of times like that.
It's like, that's okay, trying to solve a puzzle, figure it out. But as far as okay, so how do I actually play your game? Mm-hmm. Now, I may never play your game if it's ridiculous.
Yeager says, look at Fez. And I'm thinking, it's kind of funny. I really enjoyed Don't Starve. I fucking hated Fez. I fucking hated Fez.
I would say Fez is an example of that done right.
Maybe I didn't give Fez the credit it's due, but I just started playing. It was like, fuck you, and just bailed.
I think that the beginning area is a good sort of like inadvertent tutorial area where it kind of teaches you how to move up and down and how to jump and how to do all that. And then when you get to the top of that area, which is basically like, okay, you figured out how to platform, that's when it introduces, hey, now you can twist the world around and platform in these different areas. So it kind of teaches you how to play the game in 2D and then gives you the ability to shift around in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Antichamber, I think, is another really good game that does that because the first couple puzzles are so small that, like, there's only one solution and you're kind of just faced with that one puzzle. And so it's like you can kind of bang your head against it and see like, okay, I can go one direction and that doesn't work. I can go the other direction, that doesn't work. There's only one other direction I can go. Surely that doesn't work though. Except when you go that direction, it's like, okay, this is what it is. This worked. This is the kind of game it is. And it kind of the puzzle is like designed to get you thinking in a certain way.
Right.
So that when it does open up, you're like, okay, I kind of know how to approach this game.
Right. And Scully, I'll point this out. One game that you, as an indie game, you absolutely loved is a perfect example of that you actually really loved doing. Don't Starve. Papers, Please. Papers, Please.
I didn't love that. I played it. I still can't figure it out. I haven't gone back to it. It was confusing.
Yes, but you were the one that really liked it. You were the one that convinced me to buy it, and it's a great game.
I played it. I didn't get very far with it. I didn't really know what I was doing or doing right. I only played it like 5 or 10 minutes, and I thought it was a kind of neat, different type of game. But am I going to say it was awesome? And because I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh man, I did not realize that you played it in such a short period of time because I played the crap out of that. Oh.
No, I didn't.
I do want to play more of that because I've heard it gets real crazy.
It gets really messed up. Really messed up. It is the kind of game that Peter Molyneux would absolutely love because you go in with the best of intentions, but there is no way that you can be a good person and survive in that game. And that's what ultimately the answer is, or the question is do you sacrifice your family and let your family suffer and yourself suffer in order to do the right thing and be a good person? And you can't do it. It gets harder and harder, and the penalties for being a good person get more and more severe to the point of where you can lose because you were a good person and you're executed.
Did you finish it?
No, I did not finish it, but I got very far along multiple times because I realized, I can't be a good person here. All right, well, maybe there's some other way if I'd have made a decision earlier. Stories keep coming up, like people keep coming up from previous parts of the story that you did something back then that now is starting to come to a different, does that issue is continuing or progresses. It comes in much later in the game.
Oh, I never got even anywhere near that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Like, some woman that you let through because she had a really, really sad story and you clearly believed her, that you let her through, and then she comes back later and then she gives you something, and then somebody comes by and said that this person and you let her through and I know you did. Can't you do the same for me? And so, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. I'll get caught because it's getting harder and harder to hide doing the right thing because the government you're working for wants you to do the wrong thing. So then it becomes, and this person from way back at the beginning of the game ends up reappearing and causing a problem for you later. You get penalized for being nice. But you try so hard to be nice no matter what. Oh, it's such a messed up game. Messed up. And even if you try to follow the government's rules and do all right, so I don't care. People aren't real. It's just a game. I'm going to do exactly what the government tells me to do. Well, even doing that is almost impossible because the government makes it all the rules keep changing. They keep on telling you every day what you should be doing differently. And it's opposite of what you did the day before. And then they change it back. And you keep on screwing up. And every time you screw up, they send somebody out there. And it's, to examine you. And then they start asking you questions about who are you working for. And it's like, I'm not working for anybody. It's messed up. So, anyway.
Yeah, I gotta play that. I still haven't played any of it. I've watched a lot of play of that, but haven't actually done any myself.
Yeah, it's actually for a very low, 8-bit, low graphic game. It is super fun. And Easy Ray says, Antichamber always seems like a game I'd love if my motion sickness wasn't an issue.
I guess so. I mean, well, first-person games, I guess, are always kind of a pain with motion sickness. So
I don't know. Have you ever been? I know Goalie has some issues with some of the camera work.
Once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while.
And I can tell right off the bat. Once in a while, there's a game that just is so either choppy or lanky or sway that it just I'm just sick to my stomach, and I just get over it.
I don't know if I can't remember if I've ever had that issue. I don't think I have.
No, I haven't. I know I never had any issue like that.
Yeah. So we've been on for 90 minutes. I think we're starting to get tired. I can feel my energy ebbing.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Yeah. So here's what I would suggest you do, Goalie. I would suggest you read that article. Let me put that article in. I'm going to put it in his Skype.
I don't want to.
Yeah, just read it.
You're going to make him read?
Yeah, just read it.
I can read something to play a video game.
It will help.
What kind of crazy world is this?
Well, you could either...
This is my whole theme of today. It's like, I want to play your video game. I don't want to research your video game.
Well, what are you going to play when you get off of here? Because I'm going to play a little something.
I'm going to watch porn.
Oh! Where did I see this? One other item. It was in our Facebook page.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. Let me pull it up. Facebook. I have to pull up the Facebook page.
Pull it up, giggity. Yeah, welcome to Game Hound's Porn.
Oh, we've crossed that line.
We have.
What is it? Like the third hour? The 240th minute or something?
Right. Yeah, no. I was just looking at that, and I saw it was 90 minutes 2 minutes ago, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think we're going to make it to 100 minutes. All right. This is definitive proof that the PlayStation 4 has won at something against the PlayStation 1. PS4 users, according to The Escapist, beat Xbox One in porn usage. There are plenty of things we consider when comparing new consoles. Raw power, graphical capabilities, game lineups, and which one's better for watching porn, of course. When it comes to using the Sugar DVD app, the results are in. PS4 owners are watching 3 times as much porn as Xbox One users. Discrepancy can be somewhat explained by the fact that Sony sold more PlayStation 4 consoles than Microsoft has sold Xbox Ones, but not 3 times as many. There's no clear reason why PS4 owners are using Sugar DVD 3 times as much as their console war rivals, but perhaps it has something to do with Microsoft's Kinect camera watching, always watching, that makes it less ideal as a porn movie. Or a porn machine. BuzzFeed even has a list of the top 10 Sugar DVD movies for December 2013 on both systems, and there's some variance among them. While PlayStation 4 owners love tasteful masterpieces like It's Okay, She's My Stepdaughter, 13.
Can you buy a box set? Is that available?
The first one was okay, but number 5 is where it peaked.
That's where it all fell apart. Yeah.
Top Heavy Tarts 6 and 11. 7, 8, 9, and 10 just weren't up to the same standards.
Oh, Top Heavy Tarts. That's awesome.
Xbox One owners are more into refined classics such as Top Heavy Tarts 24 and 25.
They're into the new stuff. Talk about the new generation, yeah.
The PS
Next gen.
retro stuff.
You can find the full list for each system as well as top categories over at BuzzFeed. If you're not too busy with your Porn Station 4. So I'm pulling it up. Do you want to see the list? Do you want to hear the list?
Of course I want to hear.
All right.
What do you think I'm here for?
Top 10 PlayStation 4 movies viewed on Sugar DVD. These are porn movies last month, December 2013. Number 1 is Creamplosions 2.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, we gotta have a bad movie night with that. I don't know.
Number 2 is Top Heavy Tarts. Number 6.
There's so many heavy I can't keep up with them all.
Number 3 is Cream Pie Honeys from Russia.
Oh, yes, cream pie honeys. I seen cream pie honeys from Canada, and I seen cream pie honeys from Australia. I haven't seen the Russian one yet. That should be good.
Papers, please.
I mean, tissues, please.
Tissue, please. Number 4 is Big Ass Movie, The Number 2.
Big ass movie.
The Number 2.
Big Ass Movie 2.
The Number 2. Not 2. Big Ass Movie, The Number 2.
The number 2.
Oh,
So
yeah.
fancy with the titling.
No, I think they're speaking about The Number 2.
Oh.
Number 5 is Monsters of Jizz. Number 14, Older Men, Younger Women.
What? I've heard of all that jizz, but I mean, that was so. All right, so Monsters of Jizz. What do you think the plot is?
Oh my god! New winner. All right, number 6.
I think it's like a spin-off of Godzilla.
Number 6, Desires. Number 12. Who cares? Okay, number 7, Wreck My Virgin Russian Ass.
Oh! Oh, comrade. Welcome to the party.
I noticed
there's
a lot of Russian in here.
Yeah, there is.
This is great.
That is a level in Papers, Please. I will actually assert to that. That's that's the boss level. Is Wreck My Virgin Russian Ass.
Oh, talk about a Cold War. That's awesome. Now, how do I watch this on PS4?
Number 8 is Big Titty MILFs. Number 9.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Top Heavy Tarts. Number 11. And number 10 is It's Okay, She's My Stepdaughter. Number 13. Top Xbox One movies viewed this in December 2013. Creamplosions number 2, Wreck My Virgin Russian Ass, Cream Pie Honeys from Russia, Top Heavy Tarts number 24, Big Ass Movie the number 2, Monsters of Just number 14, Older Men, Younger Women, number 7, School Bus Girls number 2.
Oh, I bet you a lot of these things go to the Russian stuff. I bet you it's all the Ouijas over there watching this.
Number 8, Dirty Little Schoolgirl Stories number 3. I think we're seeing a trend here with the Xbox One. We did not see any schoolgirls.
Xbox One is like the bro console.
Apparently. Number 9 is Big Tits, Curvy Asses, number 2. And number 10 is Top Heavy Tarts, number 25.
What is with all the number 2s? Like, is the original just awful?
Can you not
the
get
original was
creative
that good.
and come up with some new titles? They're just going to say, okay, it's going to be, let's call this number 2 and number 3.
Well, it's like Hollywood. Sequels always sell better. There's no originality anymore.
Top 10 PlayStation 4 categories for December 2013. 1, All Girl. 2, Black. 3, Amateur. 4, MILF. 5, Anal. 6, Big Boobs.
Anal was 5?
No, Anal was 5. Above Big Boobs. Number 7.
This is definitely the Ouijas.
Chubby. Number 8, Hand Jobs. Number 9, Cream Pies. And number 10, Latin.
What's a cream pie?
Number
Anyone
10.
in the chat,
Shut it down.
help us out. What's a cream pie?
Yeah, chat room, that's all you. No. Top 10 Xbox One categories, December 13th. Number 1, anal.
Yeah, see, I get an Xbox One.
Number 2, college. Number 3, MILF. Wow, you're right. It is the bro machine.
Yeah, see?
It's the brocaster. Number 4, big boobs. Number 5, black. Number 6, groups. Number 7, big butts. Number 8, all girl. Number 9, amateur. And number 10, classic. Because they're classy.
Wait, it's classic?
The
Classic.
Great.
Oh.
Not classy, because that would result in 0 searches. They're very short list there. Classic. Yeah, no Asians. There were no Asian. Jaeger said no Asians yet. Very strange. Actually, there was no Asians on any of the lists. The only Latin national, or the only phrases that would refer to what would that be called? I'm having a brain fart. Ethnicities would be black, Latin. And Latin only made PlayStation 4, but Black makes both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. In fact, Black number 2 on PlayStation 4. Does that
mean that PS4 users are less racist than Xbox
They seem to be more multicultural when it comes to their porn preferences, but only slightly. Yeah. And it is kind of surprising there's no Asian.
Especially on PS4.
Well, so PS4 is not even out in Japan, is it? It's not out in Japan yet.
Oh, that's true. It's not out in Japan.
Right. But now here's the deal. Is Japanese porn... Let's see, how could I explain this? How could I phrase this correctly?
I can't wait to see where this is going.
I don't know that people in Japan or in Asian countries would necessarily be looking for Asian when it came to porn. You would think that they would be looking for something a little more exotic to them, which would be like American. I mean, when you look at like anime and stuff, there's always at least one girl that's clearly blonde, blue-eyed with gigantic boobs.
What do you mean? Like all anime characters look Caucasian?
No, that's true. All anime characters, but there's certain anime characters that are clearly like based on the European/American ethnotype. Blonde, blue eyes, gigantic boobs and ass.
Yeah.
That is really not a very stereotypical Japanese girl. Whereas in America, they're all about Japanese girls because they all look like schoolgirls, which would make sense that Xbox One. Well, I don't know, because Xbox One was a worldwide release, right?
I don't know if it was released in Japan though. Was it?
It was a worldwide release here in the States,
which is the world, right?
That counts, right?
Yeah.
We are the world.
So, all right. Well, that was fun. That was a good way to end the show. That's a very happy ending to a happy ending.
I'm all wound up.
That was something I expect Goalie to say.
Yeah. Erections and evictions. 7. In a world.
All right. Speaking of in a world, we're now at 103 minutes. We should go. All right. So we're closing it out.
If you want, I mean, I'm fine. If you got
no. I need you to. It's called SugarDVD.com. Sugar DVD app.
So how do I set it up?
I have no idea. Look, no, I can't help you.
Don't starve.
At some point, you're going to have to hold your own junk here, guy. Go find your own porn.
They just expect everyone to figure it out. You know?
I know. I need rules. I need instructions.
I'd rather play Killzone if I can't figure it out.
All right, well, we'll see you over on PlayStation.
Potty. Let's the 3 of us get in a potty and figure this out.
No.
Figure out Sugar DVD together.
What are they doing?
All right, you have been listening to Happy Endings, episode 36. We did record this on Wednesday, January 8th, 2014. please, if you haven't already signed up for us through iTunes and offered us some feedback on Happy Endings, please do so by going to iTunes and looking up Happy Endings. And while you're there, you can also sign up for a regular show. A regular show is Game Hounds. There's Game Hounds, Happy Endings, Game Hounds. Game Hounds is their podcast that we record earlier, and it's slightly less porn-related, but not always. And you could find out more information about us on gamehounds.net. That's our website. You can always email us at gamehounds@gmail.com. And, of course, if you want to stay in tune and apprised of all the latest news, Piss Boy is very good at maintaining all the current news on our Facebook site. Our Facebook site is facebook.com/thegamehounds. And, of course, we have a text line that goes directly to Goalie. So if you ever want to send a text to us or leave us a message, it does take voicemail, and that number is
304-300-9889.
All right. So, gentlemen, see you over at PlayStation. And feel free to join me over there. My PlayStation name is Gamer Edie. That's GamerEdie, all one word. Goalies is... Are you Holy Goalie or Gamer Goalie? I forget.
Gamer Goalie on PlayStation.
Gamer Goalie, all one word. And Nick's is Evil Alsup, and it's EVOL, and the O is a 0 because he's a twerk.
Because I was... No, I wasn't.
Yeah, no, you're just an idiot to have
Nope,
that
I'm
name.
just a twerk. I don't know what that means, but it sounds appropriately offensive.
All right. So anyway, it was good to talk to you guys. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Once again, you made this show also hilarious. We love to have you here. If you'd ever want to join us with the chat room session, we do record lists on Wednesdays, every Wednesday between noon and whenever we run out of steam or porn stories. So, check us out on Spreaker.com and join us. We would love to have you in our chat room as well. See you next week. Bye, everyone.
Run out of steam. That's awesome.
Giggity?
No, it's a steam gun action. Run out of steam. Yeah.